This video was brought to you by our Patreon backers, like Jeremy F. Support the channel, get exclusive live streams, early access to videos, behind the scenes posts, the ability to choose our video topics and more. The link is down below. Dr. Anthony Fauci is probably the main character in this pandemic, and even in a crowd of personality, he's managed to capture the public eye, in part due to his lively public appearances. In one such appearance before Congress in the last few months, Fauci passionately denied that the National Institutes for Health had ever funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, and even told Senator Ron Paul that he didn't know what he was talking about. So, when the Deputy Director of the National Institute for Health penned a letter admitting that the NIH did in fact fund gain-of-function research on Wednesday, it raised the question, did Fauci lie to Congress? Before we get to Dr. Fauci, it might be worth explaining what gain-of-function research actually is. The NIH defines gain-of-function research as medical research where the virulence or transmissibility of a potential pandemic pathogen is genetically advanced. Gain-of-function research is obviously pretty risky then, because it involves creating artificially enhanced pandemic-threatening superviruses, which is why the Obama administration paused all federal funding for gain-of-function research between 2014 and 2017 to develop stronger biosecurity protocols. This kind of research has become even more controversial since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially as the lab leak theory, which suggests that COVID might be related to gain-of-function research from Wuhan's biosafe labs, has gained traction in the US. Anyway, let's move back to Fauci, one of America's leading immunologists who made his career working on infectious diseases like HIV, Ebola, and of course COVID-19. He's currently the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, which itself is part of the NIH. In May of this year, Fauci testified at a Senate hearing and was questioned by Republican Senator Ron Paul about NIH-funded gain-of-function research being conducted at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in China. The research in question was funded by the NIH through a 2014 5-year grant to the US-based NGO EcoHealth Alliance. However, the Trump administration abruptly cancelled this funding after the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. The EcoHealth Alliance used the money to study the risk of the emergence of coronaviruses from bats in Asia, and had already been found to be able to infect humans. As such, they were working closely with the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Anyway, Fauci responded to these claims, saying the NIH has not ever, and does not now, fund gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. At yet another Senate hearing in July, Senator Ron Paul accused Fauci of lying while under oath back in May, stating that the NIH grant to the EcoHealth Alliance did in fact fund gain-of-function research in Wuhan, and insinuated a possible connection between the research and the COVID-19 pandemic. In what will quickly become a very heated exchange between the two, Fauci stated that the research being done in Wuhan was not considered to be gain-of-function by the NIH, and went on to dismiss any possible connections between this research and the origins of COVID-19.
Senator Paul, I have never lied before the Congress, and I do not retract that statement. Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly, and I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about. I totally resent the lie that you are now propagating, Senator. You are implying that what we did was responsible for the deaths of individuals. I totally resent that. And if anybody is lying here, Senator, it is you.
Then, on October 20th, the Deputy Director of the NIH sent a letter to Republican Representative James Comer of Kentucky that apparently negated Fauci's earlier statements during the Senate hearings. According to the letter, the research being conducted by the EcoHealth Alliance and the Wuhan Institute of Virology did result in the enhancement of a potential pandemic pathogen, and therefore classified as gain-of-function, just as Senator Ron Paul had suspected. So, does this mean that Fauci committed the crime of lying to Congress? Well, not necessarily. While it's true to say that what Fauci said is false, this doesn't necessarily mean that he intentionally lied, and it may have actually been true at the time. According to the NIH letter and the original grant proposal from 2014, the NIH had determined that this research did not fit the definition of gain of function. However, the terms of the grant required that the EcoHealth Alliance submit annual reports to the NIH and immediately report any unforeseen enhancements of potential pandemic pathogens that could fit the NIH's criteria for gain of function. The EcoHealth Alliance filed its first 4 annual reports prior to Fauci testifying before Congress, but they only filed their 2018-19 report in August of 2021, well after the May and July Senate hearings. And it was this 2018-19 report that showed evidence that their experiments were causing gain-of-function mutations to occur, which means that it's possible that, at the time, Fauci was correct in saying that the NIH had not designated it as a gain-of-function research. Nonetheless, even if Fauci didn't intentionally lie at the time, what he said then is now false. And Senator Ron Paul, who in May and July insisted that the EcoHealth Alliance were, by definition of the phrase, performing gain-of-function research, is feeling pretty smug about it, with tweets like this one. The NIH letter did state that the results shown in the 2018-19 report were most likely an unintentional consequence of the research, and not the intention of the researchers. Regardless, the NIH has demanded that EcoHealth submit to them all further unpublished data from these experiments within 5 days of their letter to Congress. In addition, the NIH maintains that there's no connection between the viruses that were being experimented on in Wuhan and the origin of COVID-19. The SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19 is found to be only 96 to 97% similar to the viruses that were being worked on in Wuhan. To put that in context, the NIH has said that today's human genome is 96% similar to our closest ancestor, the chimpanzee. Humans and chimpanzees are thought to have diverged approximately 6 million years ago. Basically, this is the NIH saying that these viruses are evolutionarily too far apart to be the cause of the COVID-19 pandemic. But we should also note that primates and viruses do evolve at very different rates. So, what happens to Fauci now? Well, congressional Republicans are calling for his dismissal, and Senator Ron Paul has also referred Fauci's May testimony to Attorney General Merrick Garland for investigation into perjury charges. Whether or not Garland acts on this referral is up to his discretion, and he's yet to confirm any investigations into the matter. But what do you think? Did Fauci knowingly lie to Congress? Should he be investigated by the Attorney General? Or is this just an attempt by Republicans to push the lab leak theory yet further? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to get even more involved though, you can back us on Patreon, which gets you a whole load of perks, from exclusive live events, early access to videos, behind the scenes posts, the ability to vote on our video topics, and more. The link to the Patreon is down below, and thanks for your support, because we literally couldn't do it without you. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new video. And as I said, if you want to see your name at the end of videos, then you too can back us on Patreon. The link to that is in the description.